Welcome to the Detailing Down Under podcast, the place for everything auto detailing in Australia right now. Here's your host, Dale Guthrie.
G'day and welcome to the Detailing Down Under podcast, and we are at episode number 3, I believe, so going pretty good so far. For those who haven't caught on to us, and make sure you like, share and subscribe to our pages. So we're on Instagram and we're on everywhere else with Spotify and Apple as well. So and also a rating as well if you do listen to it on Apple. I know I'm Apple only, but yeah, give us a rating and drop a review. That keeps us at the top, and try and get this out there to everyone. So pretty good one today as well. So I have Joe from Clean Getaway Car Detailing in Queensland. So Joe is no stranger as well to a podcast. So I've come across him as well from another pod, and I thought he had a good story, and he's been in the business for a bit as well. And not just that, a detailing business owner, but also the Autofiber distributor for Australia, which is even better. So morning, Joe. How are you?
Morning, man. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. That's good. Bit of an early start for us, but that's all good. It's all part of the...
Sorry about that.
Nah, it's all good. We got to do what we got to do. So I'll work in with you guys. Excuse me. So, yeah, Joe, we'll get into it. So what got you into detailing?
What got me into detailing, I guess, was just always having a thing for keeping things clean. Parents, it all kind of started with my parents' business. They have a butcher shop. My dad's a clean freak. It's probably the cleanest butcher shop you'll ever go to. And I was the cleaner boy. I was the guy who had to clean everything with hot water, chlorine, detergents, everything. And my dad was fussy, like just the fussiest guy ever. And, so I started out doing that after school and on weekends. And then, I ended up getting my license and kind of transferred that to looking after my own car and my parents' cars. And at a young age, thinking I'm knowing what I'm doing, but really had no idea. And so it all kind of began from there with just wanting to keep things clean. And then long story short, found out that you could actually make money doing it if you did a good job. And that's where it all began.
Yeah, nice. Was it always in your area that you are now, or have you moved into that from somewhere?
Well, I'm originally from a rural town of 1,000 people near Cairns. And then I finished school and I moved straight down here to the sunny coast to do university, and didn't really do well there, didn't really like that. And so whilst doing university is when I pretty much took over Clean Getaway. And so I was doing uni and detailing at the same time. But then I pretty much deferred and then quit university and focused on the business. So ever since 2009, I've been here on the Sunshine Coast, which is about an hour's north of Brisbane, and population of around, I think it's around 200,000, 250,000 people. So yeah, I've been here ever since. So yeah, all my real detailing, if you can call it, has always been here on the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah. All right. So did you start Clean Getaway, or was someone else's business before you bought in, or how'd that work?
Yeah, so technically I didn't start it, right? So technically I came into the business where I was actually working for the owner, and she was an injured, couldn't work. So technically I was the only employee. So I was doing all the work as a mobile detailing business. And I just remember doing training. Either was really good or she was really bad. I don't know. But I just remember my training was cleaning her car. And it was like, yep, you did a really good job. all right, you can go out now and do jobs on your own. And I was just like, holy smokes, this is actually happening. And that was kind of like my initiation, my training. And so I started working for her, and pretty much we're at the point where she said, look, I can't keep doing like this. We'll go up to sell the business. If you want to buy it, you can buy it off me. So pretty much bought a little clientele with a trailer and products. Yeah, I was able to purchase that, get a loan, purchase that, and then continue it from there. But I pretty much changed everything from day one. I just really just evolved everything from products to just the technique. And because I just started jumping on YouTube and was like, whoa, okay, the way I'm doing stuff now is really not right. So I had to really evolve it, not to take away what the previous owner did. She had amazing business on her own, but it's because she got injured. She lost a lot of clientele. So there was probably about 15 regular customers, like fortnightly, monthly customers. So I kind of bought that with a website and a trailer. That's what I got. And so we've been able to pretty much evolve it completely. I did that like in the first year and have continued evolving it ever since then. So, yeah.
Yeah, wow. So was the business mobile, or did it all have a fixed location at the time?
It was mobile. It was all mobile, worked out of a trailer. Yeah, Tom behind my Commodore. VT Commodore, man.
Nice.
So I throw that in there.
Yeah.
It didn't last long, put it that way.
What was the because I haven't had much to do with mobile. What was that like up there at the time? Is that still pretty busy up there with mobile these days? Is that still a thing?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Mobile, I believe, is the best way to learn detailing. Like when you learn how to detail in a shop, there's so many controlled environments. You got a fixed location, we have an inside wash bay. You got everything at your fingertips. But when it's mobile, it's so much harder because you don't know where you're going. You got to ask so many questions. Do you have a garage? Yeah, I got a garage. No worries. Okay, you get there and it's like, yeah, I got a garage, but it's full of gear.
Yeah.
And can you help me move everything out to get the car in? But like up here, mobile detailing is so busy. Like there is a lot of mobile detailers. There's plenty of work, and there's a lot of really nice cars to be worked on. You got your different types of mobile detailers, where I'd say mobile car cleaners are very common. But there's some really good mobile detailers that I know of that are doing an exceptional job, where they've just got their own clients. They don't even take on any new clients because they've just got such a great relationship with their current clients. But we end up selling our mobile division during COVID. And I guess there's a story on that on its own. But so we're now only workshop based. But yeah, mobile details out there. You guys do a great job, and it's working outside in the sun. When it rains and people cancel on you last minute because they don't want to get their car wet, even though you're washing it. It's a great way to learn the business.
Yeah. Right. Oh, so you only sold it? COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was early last year. Early last year we sold it, or mid last year, sorry. And we pretty much. Do you want me to quickly chat about that?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we were mobile. Obviously we started out mobile. We grew our business. We had about 4 vans on the road, working at a home, staff, and then we got a workshop. And then me and my wife realized that this is not a good business model at all, because we got so much liability, cars, and we were sinking so much time and energy into running the mobile division, where when you do it right and you employ people and pay them correctly, unless you're charging a lot of money, in my opinion, okay, I'm not telling everyone this is how it is for everyone, it's really hard to make money, especially in Australia with so many rules and regulations and red tape. And so we ended up, because we got this workshop we thought it was huge when we first moved in. We need to make this place busy. And so we started dwindling back our mobile to boost our workshop. But that took about 3 years to really get our name out there that we had a workshop. It's kind of like starting a whole new business when you go from mobile to a workshop, especially where we found. And so we got our mobile division down to just 1 van every day with 1 staff member. He would come, pick up the van, go out, and come home, come back to the shop. And so it was like a mini business on its own. We had systems, software, everything working for us, long-term customers. And so we sold that. We had a business broker sell the business on our behalf to someone, and we provided a week or two like intensive training, and we supplied products, we supplied everything so that he could jump in and essentially have his business all ready to go, so that he could just take over. And we really try to teach him and like educate him on expectations and how to do it. And yeah, so he bought that last year with the van and everything all kitted out. And yeah, it's been really good because we've just been able to focus on the workshop. It's really hard to focus on 8 different customers in one day for one staff member going on the road, and then you got to focus on big jobs here at the workshop, and then it starts to rain and people want to cancel, but people can't move around. You got this full-time employee that's still getting paid, but they got no car to do, and it requires a lot of energy and time and management. So we found we can just focus on one big fish, and that's our workshop with everything happening here. That's where we need to take our detailing business, and haven't looked back. We'd sometimes miss the mobile side because all the people, you miss the people side of it, I believe. But it's been the right business decision moving forward, and yeah, so that worked really well for us. And the guy who's still got the business is doing well. He's changed a few things, which is great for him. He obviously made his own business name. We didn't continue with ours. And a lot of our customers have stayed with him. And they still come to us for the big stuff because he doesn't do ceramic coatings and stuff like that. And I always check up to see how they're going with Cody. And they're saying, great, like he's good, does a really good job. And yeah, so that's been working out well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was just going to ask, did you lose customers, or them customers now come to your shop instead, some of them, or they just happy to be mobile?
It's a really good question, because I guess it really weighs up, like, what do they really want? Convenience, or are they really wanting us, the people doing the work? And if I can say, I tried really hard to build trust with the customers to say, hey, look, thank you so much for letting us work on your cars for 5 years plus, whatever it is, even 6 months or 2 years. But you're going to be able to trust this guy. He's got everything we've done. So we really tried. We created a video with me and him together, like the handover, what we send it to customers. So we really try to have a really nice transition for him, because that's where I think customers get lost, where there's not a very good interactive transition. And they're kind of it gives them an opportunity to be like, okay, well, all right, Joe's finishing up. Oh, that sucks. Well, all right, well, I'll look for, Jenny uses the guy that she's really happy with. I'll use him, and then he could lose all these customers that he's buying off us. So that was all part of the sale, where I had to really work and let them know that, hey, we're going to help you keep these customers. And, because I want to see him succeed, because we've built this little empire that we worked our butts off for. I'd hate to see it go on the ground, because it's happened to other detailing businesses in our area where they've sold it to someone else and something's happened, and they've all the customers have dropped off, and they're all ringing us. We had like a wave of people ring us saying, hey, I can't get a hold of my detail anymore, or something's happening. Can you do my car? And it's like, we got these free customers, all because of the management wasn't really good. And I believe that's what it really comes down to. And even still, I rang every customer, told them what's happening. We messaged them, and then they got him to ring them as well in the lead up. So you need to call these people, because they will value you calling them to say, hey, I'm such and such. I'm doing your car now, super excited. And he did that, and that's what's really helped, because it shows confidence. And a lot of these customers are business owners. They value that kind of stuff, and that goes a long way. So, but a lot of them, because he doesn't do coatings, like I said before, so they turnover cars, so they'll come to us, and then any mobile job we recommend to him. Anything mobile, we'd say, hey, go to this guy. And yeah, so it's a good partnership in a way, people who want something done now, and they're kind of wanting, we still get people who ring us wanting mobile, even though we don't have mobile on our website anymore. We just send them straight to him. And so we try to work together rather than working against each other, because then you both lose.
Mm.
So if one of us can win, that's great. But usually both of us win in this situation.
Wow. Yeah, you definitely set him up for success by the sounds of that.
Well,
So,
I think that's the way to do business, really. Like, that's what I would want if I was in his shoes. And because there's no, like, what's the consequence of doing that? There is none. Like, I might as well send it to him, like, because I want to see him do well. He's got a family, like all these things. I just believe that's the right thing to do. And so it's good to see him going around. He's got another vehicle. He actually got rid of the caddy, so and obviously I'm not on the road anymore, so I don't even see him. But I hear he's still getting around. I talked to a customer last week, and he's still doing their cars, which is good. So
yeah, we talk a lot about details getting along with other details. So you obviously set him up and work with him, and yeah, it could have went the other way. You could have just said, "No, he's rubbish. Come to me. I've got a shop now. Everyone come here." So
totally.
yeah.
You can do it like that, I guess. Hey, very small-minded mentality. I think when people are a little bit like that, a bit fit, they're deep down, I think they're just scared of losing business. They're maybe a little bit insecure, if I can say, ruffle some feathers. When it comes to complete reality of what it is, it usually comes down to us blokes being insecure of losing customers. And hey, it can happen, definitely. I can be very insecure sometimes, but I think like what you said, like working together with other detailing, I don't mean like holding hands and like, well, let's wash cars together, like, no, like not like that, but it's better to be mates and to get along than to be like undercutting and like, you see their post and so you do a counter post, like like where you're really like responding to their post, but in a not so obvious way, but it's actually obvious to the owner of that business. And there's like all that war going. I see that happen a lot. I had someone do it to me. And I was just like, whatever, man. I had friends message me like, what's this guy posting this? I'm like, I don't care, whatever, he can do that. The only person he's affecting is himself. And I'm just going to stay in my lane. But I think like you don't have to be mates with them. You have to be best friends or even like the guy, but it's just like, just not hold grudges. And I've got detailers that I talk to on the coast that have shops, mobile detailers that I've detailed cars beside them, like right next to them. And one guy I've known him since the day one of the first year I started. He is still a mobile detailer, and we still send jobs to each other. He sends stuff to me because he's an older bloke, a lot older than me. And he's like, Joe, I'm not detailing cars after 11 o'clock. He starts at 6 and he's got another, some gun business. So he does like scopes for rifles. And he's just like, any hard job, polishing, I'm sending you. Like, I got my own stuff. And he comes along and says hello a lot. And it's good when you can work together, like, and be okay with that, because we're all just having a go. We're all trying to just make money for our family and have a good life, and we don't have to get all so serious about it and start wars.
Yeah, absolutely, spot on. So so that location you're at now, that you've been there since you've taken over?
Yeah.
Yep. Where you are?
Yeah. So we've been here in 2016. We moved in 2016. I bought the business back in 2010. 2010. July 1st, 2010. And then we moved into this empty premises, completely empty, tilt slab building unit in November 2016 or October, I can't remember which one. And yeah, we've been here ever since. And it's been really good. And we've just signed another lease to move into a unit in the same complex that's a lot smaller, with a little bit of office space as well. So we'll be able to fit 3 more cars in there, because we just needed more room, because we're just doing a lot of different things here, and commercial buildings cost a lot to lease. There's a lot of overheads. You really got it. We went down every rabbit hole of moving into another building, a completely new building, bigger, twice the size, or have multiple shops, different locations. And and the management, the headaches, the money. First of all, the money you need to do something like that is like, where do you get this money from? Like, I think I've realized a lot of people just get loans.
Yeah.
And if you got money, that's good. Like, you got cash. If you got cash, great, good. Cash is king. But yeah, well, like, we can't do this and be in huge debt. Like, it's just too much weight on our shoulders, and I don't want to put my family in that kind of hostile position. But yeah, so we got this extra unit. I haven't even announced it on Facebook yet or anything like that. So here you go.
Nice.
And we're just in the process of fitting that out now, and it's essentially going to be like our clean room, like our clean shop for coatings, tinting. We're doing a more PPF now, primary protection film, and keep all the machine polishing interior, because we do a lot of like pre-sale detailing and stuff like that. Keep all that in the one unit, and then keep the dust-free, cleaner stuff in the other unit, which is literally 20 meters down the driveway.
Oh, wow. Awesome. And that's, I always talk about how people design and have their shop set up, and I think yours is one of the pretty good looking ones we've got around at the moment.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. Like, nothing ever happens overnight. And I believe in this industry, first impressions are everything. From the job you do, we teach our team, like, when you open the door of the car, what does the customer see straight away? They see the door opening. They see, the seat. They see the trims on the door. If there's dirt in like the door jamb, you've lost the customer straight away. Like, they're going to be pinpointing everything. They sit in their seat and the mirror's dirty, you've lost them. The cup holders are dirty, you've lost them. Like, it's really hard to earn the customer's trust when the first thing they spot hopping in the car is some specks of dirt. And so I'm a big believer in, like, get the basics right. And you can do a 90% job or an 80% job in quality and have amazing customer service. Most customers will be okay with that, because they understand, they really like you, they like who you are and what you stand for. But if you're really cocky, charge a lot, and then they jump in and they see it's not very good, then you're going to have some issues. And that's happened to us a few times there. And I've had to, really find ways to fix that and do that. But yeah, like, all I was saying for that is, like, first impressions having the shop is everything too. People walk in, what do they see? How's their experience of the customer and the reception? I talk to my guys about when the customer's walking past, because we have a roller door up and you can see straight inside, but they're going to go into the reception. Most of them, some of them waltz into the workshop. You turn around, you got an old bloke right next to you, and you're like, holy heck, how did you get in here? And they didn't even read the 10 signs saying do not enter. It's just, that happens so much. Or they drive their car straight into your workshop and they're like, can I get my car washed? We just all look at each other and have a bit of a giggle. But first impressions of the shop is really important to me, because it defines you, and whether it's right or not, for people to think that. The truth is, that's how we think as humans. First impressions, and we see, the shop's clean, or there's rags all over the ground. It's like, well, are they a slop? Are they, messy? Or so I'm really, you ask my team, I'm really picky on that, of like how we work. Are we tidy when we work? We don't just throw towels on the ground, guys. We throw them in a bucket, like, you can throw them, just throw them somewhere collectively. And that way people come in, they're like, a lot of people say, I saw your shop and how your team's working. And I just knew this was a place I had to bring my car. And I was like, great, fantastic, because we spend a lot of money doing this.
Yeah.
And but I like it. I like stuff like this. I think it's important. It's good for the industry. It can separate you from others as well. Because for me, I love doing business. I love the detailing business, and so I want people to walk in and be like, wow, so this is what a detailing shop looks like. And we've had people, just recently, we had a family come in. They're originally from Hawaii, and their parents were visiting, and they were just like, man, this shop is amazing. And they're like, they'd said they'd never seen anything like it before. And I'm just like, well, it's not, it's not amazing. Like, you're from America. Like, there's crazy stuff over there. And, but like, it was just nice to hear that. I was like, oh, thanks. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. But yeah, laying out a shop is so important, man. You're going to know where to put the wash bay, what's the best way, what's the most efficient ways to do it. Don't be coating cars next to the wash bay. It won't happen. You have like a driveway area, an area in the shop that's always got cars moving, and you can't really use that as a space to work on cars, because when you got a team, someone's always going to want to move a car. I'm going to get this car out, and it's like, well, I'm halfway through polishing. It's like, well, tough luck. So there's a lot of movement. So when you do plan a shop, and anyone who is doing that, always ask for other people's opinions, because you'll see stuff and you think you've got it all set out, and then some other detailer or a friend in another industry will look and they'll pinpoint 10 different things and crush your dreams. And but also bring a reality of like, oh man, thank goodness I didn't set the shop up like that, because I would have had so many issues. And even electrical stuff, how are we going to wire this bad boy together? How much is it going to cost for an electrician? Because that's where we spend a lot of our money. PowerPoints, lighting. And it's like, I need 3-phase from this corner all the way over there, and there's 30 meters of conduit. How much is that going to cost, Mr. Electrician? And they have a nice hourly rate. So just things like that to really think about when you're sitting up a shop. And man, I've learned the hard way many times. Ask my wife when she's like, what is this bill for? And it can be very expensive. So I try to I want to help other detailers not make the same mistakes I have when it comes to installing things and buying stuff, because there's a lot of stuff you don't need, and it's just Instagram, fancy crap that doesn't really matter, except it just pleases yourself, and all other detailers that aren't going to buy from you or use your services. So there's a lot of things you can really waste your money on. So I've learned the hard way, and I think I'm getting better at it. I think I'm learning from my mistakes. So yeah.
Yeah. And you definitely know what to do now with your new shop.
Well, I think I do. Yeah, it's actually been hard to figure out the design, because it's like a little straight down the middle, 3 cars. No one can go around someone. So we're doing a bit of a video showing how we're building it out. We're not doing much of a fit out. I've learned, let's not spend a lot of money on a fit out, which is still 20 grand plus, which is still a lot of money. But a lot less than what we had to spend fitting out our shop where we are now, the main shop, because I don't know if it's a forever shop, this one. And truthfully, like, it's like you spend the money on the fit out, you need to make that money back. Customers have to pay for that. Not you out of your savings, or not your children have to pay for it out of their future fund. It's like, you're doing business, like, customers will have to pay for this fit out, but I got to make it worth their money to pay for it. Which I think it will. So the main thing is just the tiling on the floor, painting. I had a family member painting, but he had an accident, so now I'm just hiring a painter to get it done and get it dusted, and lighting, and a scissor lift hoist that I got coming from China. So yeah, like, trying to keep it as minimal as possible. And because once you start dabbling into paint protection film, expenses go up a lot. There's a lot of high expenses. So that's where we just want to get the basic install done first in the new unit, and then focus on building our services and getting another employee to help pay for the extra expenses and make all this worthwhile.
Wow. Sounds awesome. And you did mention about capturing all that on video. So you've been doing some YouTube videos?
Yeah, trying to anyway. YouTube's just tough, man. Like, it's trying to figure out how do people, like, first of all, you got to make videos that people want to watch, right? It's good if your mom and your grandma enjoy watching it, but if potential customers don't care, then it's like, well, sorry, mom and grandma, I'm no longer going to make videos for you, because they're the people that's going to use your videos. And when you're paying, like, we have an employee that is full-time that does our photos, videos, like video editing. I'm kind of like the person that thinks of all the videos, and gets like, this is the kind of video I want to make. And then he kind of brings it into reality of what it can look like, and stuff like how it's actually done. But yeah, trying to create a lot of videos on YouTube about doing services. And I try to bring more of a real side of detailing, the reality of not every job's a full paint correction, 3-stage, 30 hours, look at me. It's sometimes like just an enhancement. This is what the customer wants, this is what they can see. And also realities of, like, I think there's always a big problem with ceramic coatings of what ceramic coatings do, what they don't do, how much you should be paying, blah, blah, blah. It's a constant battle. And so I try to bring a lot of videos around that. And yeah, you get people comment on them and like blast you for stuff. And you respond back and they never reply. But, at the end of the day, it's good to get out there and just show people, I believe, that who we are and that we aren't afraid to tell people the truth. And it's good. It's good. And I've had a lot of people I see our YouTube videos and book in. They're like, I've seen your videos. Like, I trust you. I've seen your videos. I've seen what you do. I want you to do that on my car. And we're like, great. We've already sold them. So if I can say, I've learned from Jason and Greg from Chicago Auto Pros, their mentality of, when like, for instance, if I can say my office administrator, she's not a salesperson. She's not there to convert people. She's there to pretty much help them find a day to book in and to get a deposit. How we sell is through our videos, through our content. And this is not all the time. Obviously, everyone's on YouTube or Facebook. But that's the way I believe it's good to create content, because it's like you let your videos sell your service. You be your true self on your videos and be raw and real and show them everything you do. The potential customer will then get to know you through the videos, a bit like eHarmony, Sorry, I haven't done that, just so you know. Not that it's wrong if you did do, but yeah, I'm digging a hole here. But, and so they get to know you already through your videos. So then when it comes time for them buying that new car, or they're selling that car or whatever, or they got an uncle and auntie that needs a car detailer, they're like, hey, I've watched this guy. He seems like a good bloke. They got a really nice shop, or they got a really nice mobile rig. They come out to you. They do this and that. Go use him. I've never met him before. I've never seen him in person, but he seems like he knows what he's doing, and so your videos have sold your services and they trust you. It's like they've got this relationship with you, and then they just want to book in and know the price, and you tell them that, and you're the same guy that was on the video. You're not fake and like just some different alter, ego or whatever. And your videos have paid for that customer. And it takes time though. I've spent a lot of money and time, like obviously employing someone full time is a lot of money to have on the books, but it's worth it. Like for us, it's worth it. Slow and steadily, a lot of people are watching our videos. So we try to create videos of like how to get here, how to find us, a thank you video. We have a video when someone fills out a form on our website. A video of me pops up straight away saying, hey, thanks so much for contacting us. Like, this is who we are. Can't wait again, and we'll be in contact with you within 2 business hours. That's how quick we want to get back to people. So video content for detailers. We're visual. Everything's visual with detailing. So using that to your advantage, I believe, is really, really important if you're going to actually have a business. Like, why not do it? It can work in so many businesses that don't expect it to. That video is just so powerful. It's just so good, better than the photos. And it can also work in a negative way too. If you're doing a video and you're showing how to do something and it's doing it really wrong, then you'll lose a lot of a lot of trust and a lot of faith, I believe, from people. But you shouldn't be scared about it. If you know you're doing the right way and you can justify why you're doing it that way, and like explain it to people, be transparent, explain the limitations and all that, people will understand that, they'll value that, and you get good quality customers from that, I believe. That's a long answer to your question, but I hope that helps.
No, that's spot on. But one thing I keep coming back to is we keep talking about trust with customers, and I think that's huge in this business. So,
man, like when you get staff, it changes because it's not you. Like, you know what you've done. You know if you've touched that part of the car. Like, I'm talking like trust of like damaging cars too. And you trust your staff when they say, no, man, I didn't do that. Like, that was already like that. You have to trust them. You can't employ people and not trust them. Like, relationships are built upon trust. If it's not, then it's not a relationship. You got nothing there. And customers, and I believe, you tell me, man, like, you're a detailer too, right? Like,
customers won't see, a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people won't realize the marks on their car or the condition of their car until it's clean, especially when someone else cleans it. Because like anything, when someone else does something for you, you critique it. You go around it, you look at it, you examine their work to thank them and all that kind of stuff. But you also examine their work to make sure you got your money's worth. And as customers do that, they're looking and they're like, oh, I didn't notice that little scratch there. Oh, I didn't know this was peeling up. Oh, I didn't know that this letter was worn or this plastic or this dash has gone. We find with Nissans and stuff, we get dashed with soft, bubbly dashes like dashboards. A lot of customers have got no idea about it because they've never paid attention or it's just come up suddenly. And it was like, it's really bubbly, like we couldn't even touch it. And it wasn't like that before. Like, yeah, it actually was, sir. Like it definitely was. No, I'm confident. It was definitely not like that. Okay, well, we'll go grab our GoPro footage because we do a video on every car before it comes in. Oh, okay. And you watch it together. Everyone's huddled around the screen. Oh, there it is. Oh, when was that video taken? And it's like, man, you're guilty till proven innocent. And it doesn't happen all the time. But I've had some really interesting conversations with some customers where it's like, I felt like I was in court. Like, wow. And, like this was melted. I'm like, how we just washed your car, man. And so if I can say anything, I invested, you can write it off, get the latest GoPro with a bunch of batteries, hit 4K, 50 frames a second, and do a really slow, take 5 minutes. You will thank me. And because sometimes customers will be adamant, and because there's this human nature that it wasn't me, it was you, man. I never noticed that before. It's your fault. And because when you got team, like we got 4 detailers working for us, 4 guys, and man, sometimes like the customer, they won't leave until you do something for them. And it's like, goodness me, let's get this GoPro footage, let's upload it, let's all watch it. And most of the times it's saved our butts so many times. So if I can say anything, things break, things happen, and sometimes you do break stuff. We've broken stuff. I've scratched the Porsche 911. I've damaged things. The guys have damaged stuff. We've reversed the car into another car, opened a door on a car. Like, oh man, like shampooed something and all the run marks went through the door trim. 3 different head units. Like you just go wipe this head unit, like a Holden Colorado head unit. You just wipe it with a soft towel, and all of a sudden this protection stuff just peels off. Customer wants a new head unit. It's like, goodness me, like it was $100 job, and it's who knows how expensive the head unit is. But that's unfortunately business as we know it, and so I've learned a lot of those things. I've had to replace. I try not to use my insurance, and sometimes I have because it's just been too expensive to not to. But it's all about the delivery of how you tell the customer, how you do it. That's what makes the difference. One of the guys was pressure cleaning a brand new Mercedes. I think it was a A200 or whatever. Switched over from the foam lance to the gun. Chink, boom, flew out, boom, hit the car, dented it, full respray down the side of the car. But luckily, this client was a client for many years, and I just called him. I just told him what happened. And I just said it was me. I'm not going to throw a guy under the bus, and say, yeah, I tell you, he couldn't have done it right, could he? That's just not professional at all. Anyways, all I'm trying to say is be honest, cover yourself, and it goes such a long way in my books. It has for me anyway. Maybe I'm the only one that makes these mistakes.
No, I don't, not at all.
Has it happened to you yet?
Yeah, I've had one. Yeah. I've even
we've all had that one.
Yeah.
Just that
sort of when I was just starting to do bikes and stuff, and one fell over. So never forget it. But that was an insurance job.
It only takes one though for it not to happen again.
Yeah, and then you start doubting yourself. You're like, should I even be doing this? Am I doing the right thing, or what am I doing wrong? Yeah. And then never dropped one ever since again. So yeah,
like it's funny you say that. Like you learn things like that. Like even burning paint, like brand new car. We're trying to polish out some tree sap, and we're just using. Excuse me, sorry. We're just using like the Flex force rotation with a foam pad with just an intermediate polish. and it literally burnt the paint. And it was only like a few passes, and it was like, what the hell? And it was on the C panel, and I just called the customer, told them, but I already had organized the panel beater down the road. He could repaint that whole panel, and he could get it in today and take 2 or 3 days. So I found the solution, and I ran the customer. I told him what's happened. I said, this is the solution, that we can do all this. Can you leave your car with us? And I talked them through everything of how it was done, and I measured the paintwork around the whole car. And because we didn't do that first, it was a brand new car. I weren't even correcting it. It was just an enhancement, man. And they were really good, and we'll just obviously pay for all that. But it's just being honest and upfront just goes a long way. And it's happened. It's definitely happened a few times, that's for sure. Things like that. But once you learn when it happens, you're like, all right, let's not do that again. And you got to learn from your mistakes, hey. And it happens to all of us.
Yeah. Mine was little bit freaky. It was like, how the hell did that even happen? Like, the stand's meant to lock in, and did it lock in? And every time now I double check, push every bike twice, and it's just like, I don't even know how that happened. So, but the customer was all good, and we got it sorted. But it was just, when you're starting out, you're going, far out. Is this? You
freak out.
Yeah, and you doubt yourself big time, and I wasn't happy, and just like, so
totally.
But if you be honest and tell them what actually happened, it's fine. So
no one's perfect. And you don't say to the customer, oh look, no one's perfect, man. So you don't say that, but that's just the reality of it. We all make mistakes, and we got to be okay with that. We all got to learn. Everyone, you look at the best business owners in the world, and when they made some huge mistakes, huge mistakes, and went bankrupt and everything like that. And so, we do too, just on a small scale, and we can take it really personal. And it's like, hey, this is a business, this is a machine. This isn't a child, and it's like, it's a business, and it just requires good relationship, and everything will be okay. We'll get through it. It's not the end of the world.
100%. So, all right. So what products do you work with? What sort of brands, coating brands and stuff, and do you use in your shop at the moment?
Oh man, honestly, I've used a lot of different brands over the years. I'm trying to find what works best mainly for the team, for my crew, because what I think will work really well for me might be very different to what they like using, work really well with. But we use a little bit of the AutoSmart range, mainly when it comes to wheel cleaners. AutoSmart, if you're unfamiliar with them, they pretty much supply a lot of dealerships with products. And you jump on Facebook and everyone rubbishes them, and you can't use them, terrible, blah blah blah. And there's always a time and place for products. And so we have a few different ranges of wheel cleaners for different kind of wheels and different expectations and stuff like that. And because if I can say, what's one that we could talk about? Iron-X, right? By CarPro. Awesome wheel cleaner, reacts to metal particles. You can't use that on every job, and it won't be that effective on some particular wheels. In fact, it'll probably be worse for some wheels because of how they're made, all that kind of stuff. Plus, since it is a good product and it's got expensive ingredients, it is an expensive product to use. And if you're using that on a $100 job and you use, a liter of it, you just wiped off a lot of money off just the gross, gross profit, not even the net,
Yep.
So we use AutoSmart in some cases. We use a mixture of the Bowden's Own products. They're literally a kilometer away from me. We have a great relationship with them. We're a bit of a guinea pig with some of their new stuff. And another brand that gets I love reading the write-ups from detailers, and everyone's got an opinion, and that's fantastic. I got an opinion, you've got an opinion, we all do. But they got a lot of good products. And here on the Sunny Coast, people love their stuff. So, people say to me, they're the best, they're the only product I use. And it's like, look, they're good. Yeah, definitely. The people are great. I love the people who are behind it. But when you've only used what's on the retail shelf, they're the best. But when you go out into the big world of products, I don't know if they are the best, but we use them. Optimum compounds. We use a fair few different compounds from Waxit down in Melbourne. Those guys got a phenomenal detailing supply shop.
Yep.
We use the Flex polishing machines. We use a lot of rinseless washing, not for doing rinseless, but for doing like really safe interior cleaning. Like the NextZen rinseless wash is an awesome product. NextZen, they pretty much were the guys that imported Opticoat and all the Optimum products. Now they made their own in Australia. And a lot of their stuff is very affordable. So I use like a vast mixture because I've just learned over the years, like you find what works for you and you stick with it, because you can buy all these different brands and you have 20 million compounds sitting on your shelf and you got thousands of dollars worth of gear that you can't really invest into, and like, because when you have a team, you got to simplify your processes. It's like if someone can't figure out how to correct a black Isuzu D-Max because it's got really soft paint, and you're like, oh, why don't you go back upstairs and dust the cobwebs off that compound I got over there, but they're not going to know that. Like, like you'll remember it because you're the boss, but we got to simplify things and simplify, because you can't expect staff to do as a good job or remember as much as the owner of the business. Coatings, G-Technique. I used to use Opticoat. It was a big Opticoat fanboy. Still am, actually. Like, I would use their products, but things changed in like just the red tape of it all, I guess. And it was a very expensive coating to use. Opticoat was a fantastic product, and we still got clients wearing that coating on their car. That's really good. G-Technique, great products. The range of products are really good too, but their coatings, Crystal Serum Ultra, is one of the best, I reckon. And also too, I'm using a brand that no one really knows about. It's called AtraPro. And pretty much what pushed me to look elsewhere was everyone's using G-Technique. And it was really hard. It was getting hard to like always be trying to separate myself from others. And I felt that we should just use something that not many other people are using. And I just researched and looked around and did like test panel after test panel. We got courtesy cars of like 10 different coatings on them, torture testing stuff. And even though it's like not a very well-known brand, because it isn't, it's like we're getting really, really good results. And I was just finding what's going to work for my customers, what's going to work for my clientele here, that the type of people we get coming to our shop. And so those coatings have been really, really good. And trying to think what else we use, man. Like obviously we got Autofiber as well. We're the Autofiber distributor, so we sell microfiber online to a lot of car enthusiasts and detailers. So we use a lot of their towels, their microfiber towels, their coating applicators, which is why I really wanted to become the distributor in Australia, was because I use a lot of their stuff. And and we whatever we sell on Autofiber is what we use here in the shop. I've kind of really tried to keep it conservative, and because it is a bit of a side business, it's not full time. Like I've learned when you have retail, when you're selling product, you've got to buy a lot, especially in Australia, to make it worthwhile. And that's something I can't really do. Like I can't buy a container of flipping towels. Like I'd be gifting them to, family, to friends and families, as their wedding present. Here's a drying towel for your wedding, because it's just too much stock and too much space and too much money, I guess, to be fully transparent. But so we use a lot of the microfiber from Autofiber. It's really, really good stuff, and we know it's a big difference. And what else? Carrick shampoo machines. I don't know what else I can tell you. I'm pretty much an open book, really. I find, honestly, for polishing pads, Zentool cross-cut polishing pads are amazing. They're for just intermediate polishing, fine, really good on the very super soft foam for soft paint, and even cutting, very versatile. My team love them, and they have a long lifespan, and they're around like $20 each, which is like incredible. Pads are usually around 30, 35 I'm finding these days. And you can spend a lot of money on pads for polishing pads. Yeah. So
absolutely. That's another thing I want to touch on is how did you come across Autofiber? Like brought you into wanting to be the distributor?
Yeah, so funny because at the time there was already someone running it in Australia, Ockett, over in WA. Shout out to him. I think he is the importer of Titan coatings right now. So he's doing good. But it's quite simply, I was buying a lot from him. And he told me, and I got to build a good relationship with him. And he told me it just wasn't working out and he was just going to move on from it. And because I told him, I said, hey, man, if you ever think of getting an East Coast distributor, let me know. Because you're over in WA, like you're in country over there, you know, you might as well put a line in the sand and in Western Australia. So anyway, long story short, he asked me if I wanted to take over it and buy some of his inventory and the Shopify store. And yeah, so ended up doing that and then ended up just bringing over a shipload of gear that we know we would use and that we could sell. Because I find if we're using it in a shop and my team are liking it and we do all sorts of detailing work, I can then talk to other detailers about it. And not just as a salesperson, you know, but as like a fellow detailer of like, yeah, on these particular interiors, on this kind of plastic, like, you know, talk to them in the detailer's language, I would have that upper hand. And that I believe I've been able to do, like selling the coating towels, and the applicators, they're probably our most popular ones, and the Dreadnought drying towels. So that's been really good. I don't work on it too much. Like I don't advertise it heaps. It kind of just plots away because there's so much happening in the Clean Getaway business. But right now I am going to be trying to boost it more and get it market it more with my marketing guy that we hire, because there's just I believe a lot of detailers still using cheap and nasty towels for coatings. Like using like 30, 300 GSM, 70-30 blend microfiber towels to level out coatings. And most coatings, not all coatings, because all coatings are different. But we're talking Crystal Serum Ultra, Opticode, and other just typical SR2, ceramic coatings. I don't know how people use like the Costco towels. Like, you know, and there's not ripping them, but I find them, you know, they can mar the paintwork, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. It could be me. But when you go from something using something really, really good, it's hard to go back to something really cheap. You know, you just get so used to the luxury of it. and we use those towels as a way of us soaking them in bucket with like APC. We soak them overnight. We put them in a hot wash in the washing machine. We can reuse those towels on interiors. They're fantastic on glass. So it might cost a little bit more upfront, but you can get all these other uses, and then we repackage them and and we give them to customers as a freebie. We say, hey, here's 5 towels with your package that we just did for you. Just, you know, use them on whatever. And then it gives a great experience for the customer. So Autofiber's been good, really happy with it. And we have a lot of detailers that love buying the stuff and thank me all the time for it. So that keeps me going with doing it. So we mainly just get air freight. We just air freight shipments in. So there's not a huge margin on it at all, really. There's not much at all. I just love talking to detailers. I just love like trying to get the courier to pick it up in time, and they might even get it on the same day or the next day. Or if you're in rural South Australia, you might get it in a week.
Yeah.
So It doesn't work for everyone, which sucks. But yeah, so it's a good venture. It's good fun.
Yeah. No, and I got the applicators because I was looking around for some sort of like bigger ones than what I'm using at the moment. And and everyone raves on about the technology in the Autofiber ones, and then purchased some, and then not long after that you rang and said, how'd you go with them and what are your thoughts? And I said, I think they're awesome. And then when you're done with them, they're good. They're absolutely awesome tire applicators. They're epic. They're
so good. I don't know why they even sell tire applicators in Autofiber in the US. I'm nearly started thinking, because we've got a cabinet with all our microfiber. We have all set levels, and the guys, our team, grab it from there and they take it to the cabinet in the detailing bay that they're in. And down low, we got like used saver applicators, right, which are the coating applicators. And I've got probably, I don't know, 100 spare, like just used ones, and they're clean and they're ready for tire shine. But I've been thinking, like, what if I should sell them like $1 each, you know, like, or 50 cents each or something like that. for like tire shine, because they last a long time. Like if you're doing, like maybe 20 tires a day, it'll last 2 weeks of tire shine. And you can wash that bad boy if you really wanted to put it through your washing machine. I wouldn't do that, but yeah. So I was just having a laugh to myself. I'm like, I could probably throw them in, or I don't know. But I think tire shine applicators are one of the hardest things to come by. Like good ones, the foam ones fall apart.
Yep.
The real hard blocky ones that don't get in the grooves. You got your all-terrain or your mud tires. How do you get into those? All those little tricky spots. So so good stuff, good products.
Yeah, I can definitely vouch for that though.
Thanks, man.
They're awesome. Talk about the detailing culture. So what's it like up your area? Is there much in close by to you guys? Much, we won't say competition, but is there a lot of other guys doing what you do? Similar setups?
Yeah. Like there definitely is. Sunshine Coast is pretty small. It's quite spread out, but it's still pretty small. Everyone still travels. Everyone's used to traveling half an hour to get somewhere. I've got another little detailing shop that I know. I know the guy actually originally detailed his car before he became a detailer, and we get along. He's very much into the forward drive industry, and he does a great job. He's a really good detailer. And he's only a few streets away, so he buys Autofiber stuff off us, and he coats cars, does all that. So, people, I guess, could drive from me and go see him, or vice versa. But in the day, that's just business, right? It's like the car yards. They all are built next to each other, because they know that when everyone's together, it draws their people. And so someone who's at Ford, he wasn't even considering a Holden or a Honda. But because it's only across the road, he'll go see them anyway. And then he might end up buying a Honda, God bless him if he does. But, so it can work to your advantage. But the culture here, there's always going to be the guy that's the cheapest and the guy that rips everyone off. Everywhere you go, there's always going to be, if he leaves, someone's going to take his spot, and that's just how it's going to be. It's been like that since day one of humankind. You can always bank on it. And I think that there's a good culture of camaraderie, like guys getting along well. I don't know if it is for me anyway. I think it is, unless I'm just totally misreading everything. But there's guys that I'll see them, or I'll just, I think it's really good to comment on other detailed stuff. Like, hey man, great job. Awesome. That looks sick. Well done. Keep up the good work, and actually mean it, because it's like they're doing what I'm doing. They're hustling, they're working hard. And I think it's good for other people to see businesses, commenting and praising other businesses. I think that's healthy, not just for that business owner, but it's healthy for society. And it's not like a all-out war between businesses, because no one wins. No one wins when it's like that. And there's too many lives at stake, I believe, because if I don't do well, I got to let staff go, and that's going to impact their family, and so, there's guys that, I won't go out and have a drink with, or hang out with, or, really want to spend time with, but I'll still be nice and say hello and wish them the best. But, so I hope that makes sense. But there's guys that I got a lot of time for, that have helped me when I've needed help, and I'll help them if they need help, and I think that's really important to have. And you just never know. You just never know when you need to call on someone to help you. So it's good to not burn bridges, because sometimes you really need that bridge, and, you'll be super thankful that you didn't be a jerk and run that bloke down, because right now you really need someone, and generally they're that person you need. That's happened to me anyway. So,
100%. New products. Was there anything in the industry you think we need as a new product?
Oh man,
tough question.
Something that just magically revives faded clear coat.
Yeah.
Or a coating that actually works really well on a 79 series, a white 79 series Land Cruiser. I don't know, man. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Heaps of good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what product we really need. Like, people usually tell me they want a glass cleaner that doesn't leave smudges, and I'm like, hey, sorry, but that's actually you that's leaving smudges, like not the glass cleaner. You know, I think I think there's a lot of well, let me put it this way: a cheaper paint protection film would be good because it's very expensive. The film's very expensive. That's something I would like. I'm only just getting into it. We've done a few cars now, but I'm learning, like, man, now I know why not everyone does this thing, because like it is expensive. Like behind me, I know people won't see a video, but behind me is, a GraphTech FC 9000 plotter. Like that's a $10,000 plotter just to cut out the templates. I'm not even putting it on yet. I'm just cutting it out to help me put it on, and now it's up to me to do a good job installing it and work around all the shapes and angles and everything. But yeah, so that's, I know it's a bit of, not really detailing related, but yeah, that's where I'm at anyway.
No, I agree. Yeah, paint protection film, that's a whole nother level, and it's a whole nother skill as well, which I've only just started to tinker with myself. And I tell everyone there is an art to it, and I'm definitely not that great yet either. So I was like, I'm starting small, and we'll go from there. So
are you doing it on bikes?
Haven't done many. I've done my own just to trial on, sort of like the front end with the fork high impact areas. Yep. So haven't done any sort of tanks. I was going to muck around with one, but I think there's a bit to that as well. So
yeah, I think with bikes, if I can say, I haven't done too many bikes myself, but I can see the templates for your Suzukis and your Kawasaki's, like, your sports bikes and road bikes or whatever you call them. I think because they're a lot smaller and they're just kind of like slap on kind of thing, you just got to really position them well. There's definitely a market for that, but people can buy their own templates off the internet, and they're just cheap and nasty permutation film. So if you can get a good quality film and get good templates, there's definitely, I could say the work's not that hard with doing them. There's definitely a good avenue for that for guys like yourself who might do a lot of bikes. But yeah, like wrapping tanks, I don't know how you would even start doing that, like a Harley or something.
Yeah.
No thanks. Just get it repainted.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm haven't even
cheaper.
tried. Yeah. So what? Yeah, my entry into PPF is only just through they're up near you guys. Oh, not quite. Bush Wraps. So
cool.
I'm an installer for them. So yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just
great.
Getting into it that way. I don't have to buy the 10 grand plotter behind you. Yes. And I thought
it's such a good business idea that they had or have, where, if I can say, they create these templates that should be quite easier to do. Like they're obviously not wrapped around edges and stuff, but man, like for what they're tailored for, perfect idea, amazing concept.
Yep.
And I've used one too. I got one before I was cutting it and doing it ourselves. I used one for a Hilux. Customer wanted it, and I kind of needed it now. And it's like they just shipped it out. So yeah, Bush Wraps. The girls there doing a really, really good job. So yeah, it's a really good way to get started, like you said. Really good way to enter the industry without investing a buttload of money and hoping that it all works out.
Yep, that's exactly my theory too. I was like, I'm only get into it small, and we'll see where it ends up. But yeah, that's
good on you. That's fantastic.
And yeah, they have their model is unbelievable how they're that busy as well. So
yeah,
I went and done the training there and everything. So it's
good on you.
It's going good. So
great. So good.
What could we improve in the detailing industry in Australia, you reckon? Is there anything we could?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Like I can't say. Look, I'll put it this way. I think we had a little conversation about this earlier too. I think as detailers, sometimes we can just be over promising without realizing of what something can do, and sometimes we're thinking like, yeah, this will be amazing. Let's talk about ceramic coating. Right? Obviously, they've been around for years now, so they're not the latest and greatest thing. But saying what a ceramic coating will do for a car, that's if you do X, Y, Z. But sometimes we forget to say that. It's like interior protection. I hardly even do it anymore. Where we'll do it, but we'll do it super cheap, because I don't want all the strings attached to that. because people say, oh, I still get marks on my interior.
Mm.
It's like, what do you think's gonna disappear into thin air? Like, it will mark. Like, your skin you'll leave residue on there, and all that makeup you got on, like, yeah, that will, like, you'll touch stuff and you'll get there. Like, you got to still clean it off, I think I've really tried to improve on, like, this is a ceramic coating. This is what it's going to do, but this is what it's not going to do. But for it to do all those awesome things, you still need to do X, Y, Z. And the best way I can explain it, because when people want to get multiple layers of the best coating and they want all these things, and then they start, sometimes will say, so that means that I won't have to do this, right? Like, that means, like, they try to do it as a shortcut. And it's like, wait, like, you've got a black Subaru WRX. Like, you've got super soft paint. You want to get it coated and you want to just rinse it. You don't want to wash it. Like, if it was me, I would still be washing it regularly. And then you explain why, and you try to just really politely bring across why, and educate them, and so they can understand, like, why they're getting the coating. It's not a magic force field. And I think that's the best way, because if you don't, they'll stop cleaning it, or it might stop beating or whatever, and they think that it's you've ripped them off, or the coating's crap, should never get a ceramic coating. So it's just really good, I believe, to find out what the customer wants and what they're willing to pay, not what necessarily they should get. Like, you should get a full-on correction on this car. Like, you've got a beautiful car, you need to get this. If they don't see that, if they don't see the swells and the marring or whatever, it kills us inside, right? Like, I'm like, you need to do this. Like, your car's amazing. Like, just spend a couple of $100 extra, let me do this for you. But if they're not prepared to do that and they don't value that, then don't let them waste their money doing that. That's my opinion. And if they just want to pay for a $300 machine polish job and a wash and, a sealant, and just do it. Just do it, and be okay with that. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be stoked because they haven't paid a buttload of money in their opinion, in their eyes, and they're going to rave about you and tell all their friends. And then they become your biggest fanboy, where there's not like, hey, yeah, it's me again on the phone, and they're like, yeah, I've just noticed some water spots. I'm just wondering if I could just bring it around for you to look at. I just thought, again, the coating, that would never happen. And it just feels a little bit rough in the spot. I just, I had it parked outside of a mine for 3 weeks. I just thought the ceramic coating would just stop doing that, Like, I thought it would be a lot better than this. Holy moly, like, and it's just like, oh, okay, just bring it around, man. Let me check it out. And it's like, car's actually covered in overspray with like paint. And it's like, oh, well, I thought the ceramic coating would, just let it like fall off, And I'm not rubbishing people, but it's because we never told them. We never gave them a reality, reality check of what it actually does. So yeah, I hope that helps someone. And if I give these real like specific examples, it's because it's happened to me, and I've had to like navigate through that and learn from that. Because when you're coding, quite a few cars a week, it's like there's a higher chance of stuff happening like that because you've done more of them, not just one a week, or So yeah, so it's been fun, and it just helps avoid ugly situations. That's all. And you don't want people thinking they waste their money. Money's money, and $1,000 is still a lot of money. So you want to make sure they're getting their money's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we all can relate to that. So definitely with the polishing and stuff. So I do one, and then I was like, I could spend probably another 5 hours plus on this, but you're not going to see the benefit of that and wonder where your money's gone. So there's no point trying to do
and time is money. Like, we can be slaving away and doing this big correction job, and that's great. And so, sometimes you got it for just learning. It's like, I'm going to do extra for this customer because I want to figure out this paint and do some R&D, right? So I can do the next car a lot quicker. But if you're only doing it just so you can get photos up on Facebook and Instagram or whatever to show off to everyone, but you made $200 that day, but you spend 10 hours and you spent, $20 on compounds, you've worn out your polishing machines, you bought lunch that day, like you drove there to do the job or what have you, the only person you're pleasing is yourself, and you got one really happy customer that now is going to tell their friends, hey, for $200, I got all this. And then you got an expectation from all these other people that for $200, you're going to do this because you did it for Sally. And so you're going to do it for me too, because I want a discount because I'm their friend. And, and so, it's hard, but, there's always a lot of hard decisions to be made in running your business. And at the end of the day, it is a business. And when if you don't already, if you're young or you're single, that's great. But like, don't rip yourself off. Don't cut yourself short. You're doing this because you enjoy it, I think. And that's really important. But you're also doing this as a livelihood. You need to be able to live. You need to be able to not be a slave to your customers. And it's not the customer's fault. It's our fault for tolerating it and for allowing it. It's my fault for being okay to do a really cheap job for this guy because I couldn't say, no, sorry, man, it's actually going to cost more than that, and this is why. So, so that's, I hope that's helpful anyway.
No, that's an awesome answer. All right. All right, we'll go into me top 5 questions we normally like to finish on. So I have, I did send them to you, so I am sending to everyone now. So I won't leave you in the dark with these ones. First ever detailing job. Can you remember
yeah,
back?
So first one was a BA Ford Falcon Ute, a work ute. Didn't know they had vinyl floors. It was a really boring car. Not even worth talking about, to be honest.
Vinyl floors.
Grotty work ute.
Favorite polisher? What's your go-to polisher, you reckon?
My go-to polisher machine would be the Flex VRG, the force rotation. The previous model, I just think it's got a lot of balls. It's really, I find it comfortable. And it can finish down pretty damn well too if you're doing it right.
No worries. Ceramic or PPF?
Well, why do you want a ceramic coating? Dale, come on. Look, perfect. Well, permutation film, right? It saves. If you want stone chip reduction, PPF all the way. But for easy maintenance, ceramic coating, hands down.
Yeah. And if anyone else wants more info, watch your video.
Yeah.
What's your latest video?
If you're installing it and you don't want high stress, then ceramic coatings.
Yeah.
All the way.
Your opinion, the best your favorite detailing tool or product?
I'll be a little bit biased. For interiors, the Scrub Ninja, like the Autofiber Scrub Ninja is amazing. And for exterior, that is really, really hard. I really like the Optimum Car Care Hyper Polish. That's one of my favorite products. It is just such a versatile polishing compound to be used for finishing, but also you can if you partner with the right machine, the right technique, and the right pad, you can do some awesome damage in a nice way of cutting, cutting out swells and even removing heavily oxidized, like an oxidized vehicle, like a Triton or a Hilux or white one. You can cut out that oxidization just with this finishing compound and be very easy to like minimal dust. And I believe if I can say the guys in Sydney, I forget which car detailing shop it is, car care store, but they sell a gallon of it for like $220 for 3.8 liters. So it's not too bad price, and it goes a very, very long way.
Buying in bulk. Yep.
Nice sales pitch, right?
Yeah. And last one, your interests outside of detailing.
Yeah, my interest. I really like the Formula One. I love Formula One. Watching that, and hopefully I can go to Melbourne next year. I'm a little bit musical. I play drums. I'm a Christian. I play drums at my church. So I always love having a big bash in there. There's the psycho drummer boy in there. So that's really good. And I got 2 little kids, and a wife. So I love playing with them and hanging with them. So if someone asks me to work on a Saturday, I'm like, nope. That's my time with my family. So yeah,
spot on. Yeah, I'm a big F1 fan as well, so probably one.
Come on, Checo, let's do this.
Singapore Grand Prix is a good one to go to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I might just have to save up.
It's not far to go.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
good.
I'll wrap it up there. You got anything else to chat about, or you're all good?
No, I'm pretty good. Like I'm like, people can take or leave what I've said. It's totally cool. Not offended. If you think I've talked smack, then that's great. Sorry for wasting your time, but if you do have any questions in regards to shop fit outs or whatever, I can only give you my opinion of what's worked for me. So don't take it as like gospel, but I'm open. I'm happy for people to message Clean Getaway Car Detailing on Instagram or Autofiber or whatever. Find me on any of the platforms. I'm happy to just share my 2 cents. Especially when you're new to it. Like there was no one. I had to find help from people that could help me. But it's hard if you don't have anyone to ask for help. You learn things are really hard, and so I'm all about helping people not suffer the same mistakes I did, and put yourself through the same things as I went through to get where we are today, if I could say. So if I can help in any way, happy to share my 2 cents if someone wants to hear it.
And you're happy to chat about anything really, which I've experienced, which is awesome. Oh, probably one more thing I probably didn't mention is I think you had a big car show.
Oh yeah. We had a charity car show. We had one this year. We had one last year for the Wishlist Foundation. So pretty much real quickly, because I know we're cutting it here, but which is great. But obviously got great clients with really nice cars, and it's like, how can we channel all this awesomeness to be able to do something not for ourselves but for other people? And so we partnered with Wishlist, and we hosted we call it Supercars at Sunset. So we hosted about 20 supercars here at our show, had barbecue, music, like Ferraris, McLarens, everything, Maseratis, Lambos, all that kind of stuff. Some really nice classic kind of stuff too. So raised a couple of $1,000, and we're trying to find ways to raise more money, but it was all for just awareness for Wishlist and all they did, and to the point where we didn't even advertise, we didn't put up brochures out or anything. It's like, it's not about us. I really purposely try to make it like that. Like, it's not about us. Hey, if you come in, you can win this, and sign up today and get a free tire shine. Like, it's not like that. It was really just all for the kids, and seeing the kids' faces and the families that have had kids in hospitals for years and going through all this crazy stuff that I could not fathom even experiencing myself. So it's good when you can do stuff that's for other people. It's not about yourself. It's bigger than yourself. And we got these great, if you got customers with awesome cars, man, get out there, do something for other people, be generous, and show people that. And you know what? People who own these cars usually want to get amongst it. They usually are keen to help out. They got money. Like even though they're tight as, especially Lambo owners and Ferrari owners, they're tight because they are rich. That's how they're rich. They're tight. Yeah. And but when it comes to charities and stuff, they're usually the most generous people. And so tap into that, and you will change lives. You will help change lives doing that. So yeah. And on a
yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up. Thanks, Joe, for your time. It's been good, and thanks for starting early as well. You were an early starter, so no, it's been good and generous with your time.
That was my daughter. 4:30. Here we go. Let's party. Yeah. So I do pretty early. So yeah.
No, it's good. How can anyone reach out to you?
Mate, email Joseph, JOSEPH at cleangetaway.com.au, or just any of Instagram, Clean Getaway Car Detailing, or Facebook, or even the Autofiber stuff. So, or you can try calling as well, if you really want to. So yeah.
No. Awesome. All right. Thanks for your time, Joe, again. And everyone, if you like, jump on and give Joe a follow. And thanks for listening, and we'll tune in for the next episode. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Dal.
Thanks.
That was another episode of the Detailing Down Under podcast. Subscribe now for everything auto detailing in Australia.